Hello, thank you for watching this video. So this slow flow video is all about this late summer season that we're coming into. We've spent a lot of time kind of opening up the chest, the heart, kind of feeling the warmth of summer, and feeling a lot of that tension melt away from our body. And in late summer, we're starting to harvest seeds that we've planted, literally, figuratively. But we're also getting ready for the end of the season, too, for the season of change and for us to stay open and kind of carry all of that love and compassion and wide openness that we've worked for. We also need to have the stability and the groundedness so that when things shift, we hold that openness opposed to contracting. So, in this flow, we're going to follow that cycle of planting the seed, getting really grounded in our lower body and our strength, and growing open from there. So, we'll work at the strength that we've created in our upper back, the space and mobility that we've created in our shoulders and our arms and our chest. And we'll kind of open up into some spirals and work on some extending the arms. And then from there, we'll take it up and we'll do some balance poses to really work at that openness and tune into our physical reaction, our mental reaction when we come into some balance poses as our kind of poses of challenge. So, two sturdy blocks, something maybe to kneel on, and we'll go and get started. Let's start as low as the ground as we can. We'll come into baby crocodile. So, take a prone shape laying on your abdomen with your head resting down. And you can take the legs nice and wide on your mat with the toes untucked. And then stack the hands so that the elbows are wide. And go ahead and rest your forehead down. And to ground yourself in your body, focus on your breath and directing your breath wherever your body needs it at this time. And this flow of energy, the inhale and the exhale, everything we pull in that we need, everything we release that we don't, is always happening and it's always there. It's very reassuring whether we're focused on it or not. The breath is always moving, and so the energy cycle is always giving and receiving. From there, come into your Sphinx pose, bending the elbows and bringing support to your body with your hands and your forearms. We'll work into the spine here, thinking about the uppermost part of the spine. We'll keep our neck nice and long, and then we'll start to engage a little bit. I want you to feel your strong back body. So can you feel your shoulders coming together as your neck lengthens out? Can you feel the muscles alongside your spine start to contract? And it can be helpful to think of the hands and the forearms as pushing down like you're trying to, and pulling back like you're trying to drag yourself forward. And now the legs can become strong too. You want to feel all the muscles of your legs and your glutes start to engage. And that strength helps to keep us lifted and open in our front body. Now the left palm, we'll bring the hand back so that the elbows right underneath the wrist. We'll press down and just gaze over the left shoulder. Come back through your Sphinx and take that to the other side. Bring the right palm right underneath the right elbow as you press and gaze over the right shoulder. Come back to your Sphinx. And then as we lower the chest down, the hands can sweep back so that both are underneath the elbows. Feeling your belly button start to pull back towards your spine, that gentle core engagement, keeping the neck long. We'll tuck the toes under and transition to our tabletop. And from tabletop, we'll come to a supported toes pose. So with the toes tucked under, the seat will sit back towards the legs, and you can bring a block, or maybe even two, underneath you so that you feel some stretch in the toes and the bottom of the feet, but not too much so that your body's pulling away or tensing up. I really want to be able to sink into the shape. You could even sit in a chair with your legs kind of kicked back and your toes tucked if you needed to. And then gaze out towards the horizon, and the eyes can be closed. And we'll tune in to those parts of the body connecting with the mat or with the ground. Imagine the bottoms of the feet are stretching a little bit like taffy, opening up. When all that connective tissue gets nice and spread and wide, it makes for better stability when we come into our poses where our feet are kind of rooting us. And from our solid, stable base, our spine grows up effortlessly from there. Feel wide across the front and the back of the heart. Feel easeful and open in the front and the back of the neck. Energy flows in, energy flows out. Now we'll take the body into some movement to open up the shoulders. We'll take these shoulder shrugs, taking our arms out into a T shape with the palms facing up. As you inhale, can you shrug your shoulders all the way up towards your ears? Breathe in. And a nice long audible exhale. Let the shoulders fall away and really accentuate the length of that out breath. Try that again. Inhale, shrug. Exhale, out and down. One more time. And as you let the arms down for a moment, you can give them a couple jellyfish swings, right? When we have that stability in the lower body, when we cultivate that strength and that groundedness, it's a lot easier for our upper body to stay loose and open where we need it. And it will stop us from taking on tension in those areas we normally do, around the shoulders, the neck, the jaw. Okay, let's do some rolls up, back, and down the shoulders. Marry it with your breath. And switch directions. All right, from here, bring the hands down into tabletop. Go ahead and untuck the toes so that the tops of the feet press down, and give them a little tap. From here, let's move the spine into our cat-cows. As we inhale, the spine will drop towards the ground. The heart peeks forward, and so does the gaze. As we exhale, we round, we flex the spine. Our cat pose, you can let the head drop. Now take those at your own pace, feeling the movement of your spine. No need to rush. And then we'll go ahead and sit back one more time in a hero's pose with the toes untucked this time. And we'll do a little bit of a neck stretch. You can take the left arm out with the thumb down. And then as I take the back of the left hand to my lower back, it's a very gentle press. And as I press, can you feel the left shoulder going back slightly? From there, keeping the chin in, we'll let the right ear come to the right shoulder. And you can stay here for a breath or two if it's already intense, or slowly bring your gaze down and to the right. As you do, take a nice breath into the side of your neck and release. The head will come up, the left hand can release, and we'll take that to the other side, the right arm out, thumb down, back of hand to lower back, gentle press, feel that right shoulder moving back, and then we'll, keeping the chin in, let the left ear come to the left shoulder. Stay as you are, or look down and to the left and take a few more breaths. And release. All right, we have one more area of the body to warm up before we start into a little bit of a flow, and that's working into the hips. So it can be really nice to take hands on blocks and through tabletop, take both of your hands over to the left as you take your right foot nice and wide, stepping it forward. Now your right toes might face straight ahead. Notice how that feels on your hips. Or you could angle your toes outward to the right and do whatever feels best. Now that back leg, nice and strong, right? Imagine that you're pressing something underneath the top of your foot that you want to hold there, and that will cause some engagement of the leg, which will take some of the stress out of the joints and the hips as well as the knee. Send some nice breath. And then now that we're grounded, let's see if we can open up a little bit. Press the palms down, reach your heart forward, keeping that lower body strength, keeping our stability, staying a little bit more open in the chest as we lift the spine and we lift the gaze. The left hand can stay to the block. We'll bring the right hand to the right thigh and come into a little gentle twist, peeking over the right shoulder. Still breathing, still strong, still open. And then release from the twist and release back to the table. The hips can go back, the right knee will come back to marry the left, and then the hands to the blocks over to the left side we go. And we'll step our left foot forward, coming into the lunge, either toes right forward or angled out slightly. Try both on. See what's best for you today. The back foot is strong. We've got that press, saving our knee, engaging the muscles around the hips. From there, we grow our spine. Try to stay open and lifted to the world, even in times of challenge and in sensation. Left hand to left leg, we'll gaze over the left shoulder. And we're out of the twist now. We'll come out of our lunge, sending the hips back, sending the left knee back. From here, let's come into our dog pose. Hands will be nice and wide. Fingers can angle out slightly at the beginning of your practice if you need to feel more openness. If you're looking for more stability in your down dog, you're feeling nice and open, you could try bringing your hands in a little bit more narrowly, or the middle fingers might even point forward. So try a few on there. Sometimes it's just a guess as to how it will feel. And then as we send the hips up and back, you can always adjust. A little bend to your knees to lengthen out that spine. And a little engagement of the legs. Could you imagine that they're trying to hug towards each other, even though we have about a hip width distance with the feet? With your breath on your exhale, can you feel your core supporting your spine? Can you feel your strong upper back supporting you and your arms growing out nice and long as your hands press into the mat? We'll slowly come into our forward fold, keeping the head nice and easy as we walk our feet up to that hip width distance or closer. Often we have to give a little bend to the knees when we first start, so we can really let our spine hang. If we're having a little bit trouble, the back line is too tight, maybe our torso is pitched out closer to a halfway lift, that's a lot of time to spend with some stress to the lower back. You give the knees a little bit of a bend, your torso will be able to hang, and your head too, very important. Just let that thinking machine go. Give it a little shake, yes and no. Can you still feel the hug in of the legs? Maybe a little hug in of the outer hips? And that engagement will lift the hips some. The hands could stay supported to the ground or to a mat, or to go a little deeper, a little bit more pull on the spine. You could take opposite hand to opposite elbow coming into ragdoll. Release your ragdoll. Take your feet together to touch. Feel that strong inner leg line hugging together as you sit the hips back, knees stay back over the toes, arms reach forward into a modified chair. Right, feel those strong wide feet grounded and stable. Strong legs hugging in. Times of challenge, keep that gaze open. Imagine that you have a viewfinder right in between your hands and you're gazing right there. And then release up to your mountain pose. Let your hands come beside you. Lift the toes, give them a spread. Shift the weight side to side, front to back. Find a really stable mountain pose. We're going to shift the weight into our left foot, and we're going to catch our right shin. The hands could interlace. If that feels comfortable, you could also use a strap. And the same thing we've been working on. Feel that left foot. Really strengthen that left leg is doing all of the work. Keeping that knee soft so you can really feel the muscle start to engage all the way up the leg line, all the way into the glute. Those outer hip muscles hugging in, all the while keeping our gaze to that one point. And notice where your mind goes. Sometimes if you're having doubtful thoughts about your ability to do something, just kind of looking to one place and counting. anything, so the mind has to be distracted from that negative thought. All right, from here, we're gonna come into an airplane pose without letting our right foot touch the ground. The hands will sweep back. We'll open up the front of that right hip as we extend the leg back. We'll bend the left knee so we can reach back with that right foot and touch down to crescent lunge pose. Widen your feet left to right if you need more stability. Widen your feet front to back if you need more challenge. Find that strength, but also buoyancy in the lower body, not really locking out the joints, keeping the muscles engaged slightly. And then where does your upper body go from there? Let's reach the arms up, overhead. Again, focusing on that strength in the lower body. Can you keep the tension out of the neck area as you really start to engage the shoulders and the arms and lifting up? Let's touch down to a low lunge, letting the right knee drop to the ground and the hands can come to blocks and mat. From here, we'll come into a forward fold. Coming through my runner's lunge, my right knee lifts as my back toe is tapped. My right foot hops up and I let go of my head and spine. Come up to your standing. Find that mountain pose. We'll start to shift the weight to the right foot as we bring the left shin in towards the torso. Bringing your awareness to that stable right foot, engaged right leg, all the way up through your glutes, your hips. Focusing the gaze, focusing the mind. Without letting the left leg touch, transition to airplane pose. Extend that left leg back, reaching through the heel. Still strong right leg, doing a lot of work here. Slowly come into crescent lunge, letting that left foot reach back and the ball of the foot touching down. Work your body. Position your feet for that stability. Let the torso, spine rise from there. Inhale, arms reach up. Stay open. Stay focused in times of challenge. And we'll touch down. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Left knee comes down, left foot untucks. We'll come into our forward fold. Left toes tuck, left knee lifts, left foot hops up, and we bow. Rise to stand. Find that mountain. Okay, we're going to put some of those movements together, some lunging, some twisting, in with our sun salutation, and work into some of our back bending. We're going to do a sun salutation B style. So we're gonna work in the chair pose. So bring those legs together to touch. Feel that inner leg line. Feel that strong stability as you hug the legs. Notice how it opens the upper body. Inhale, reach up. Chair pose as you exhale. Sit back. Right to the horizon with your gaze. You can stay soft in times of challenge, mentally, physically, in that upper body. Next, exhale, fold. Let go of the head. Strengthen the legs. Come into your halfway lift. Reaching the heart forward. Feel that strong back. And then the hands will come down, blocks our mat, and we'll walk the feet back to our plank pose. Reaching the heart forward, creating that strong base. Maybe you tap the knees down, keeping the gaze to the top of your mat. Can you lower all the way? We'll take a baby cobra, tops of feet press. Feel your strong spinal muscles as you peel yourself off the mat as you breathe in. Exhale, lower, let the hands sweep back. Move through your table, and then we'll tuck the toes and take that dog pose. Strong and open, focused mind and breath. Extend the right leg back and up. Step the right foot outside the right hand, coming into a wide lunge. The left hand could stay down to mat or maybe block, and we'll reach the right arm high. Think of those strong leg muscles, strong hip muscles hugging in as we open up and work our mobility and our upper spine with these twists. Gaze can be up towards the right thumb. And we'll come down to the mat and we'll transition to our dog. Right foot can step back. Few more breaths in dog. Left leg back and up. Left foot outside the left hand. Runner's lunge, back leg stays up. Right hand planted to something, proper mat as the left arm reaches high. Feel your strong outer hips, strong legs, strong back. Open heart, open gaze. Transition to your dog pose. Three more breaths. On your next inhale, take it to plank. On your next exhale, lower. On your inhale, back bend. On your exhale, make your way through table and find dog again. Walk your feet up. Prepare for your halfway lift. Forward bow. Take the feet together, strong legs, chair pose, sit back. Catch your view in that viewfinder. Mountain pose. One more time, get ready for your chair. Sit back, reach forward and up. Forward fold, let go and strengthen. Halfway lift, strong spine. Move to your plank on an exhale. Keep the neck long, gaze forward. Lower down with strength. Back bend with openness. Move to down dog. Transition. Right leg extends. Right foot to right thumb. We'll come into a crescent lunge, lifting the torso up. Arms follow. Now left arm will reach forward. Right arm reaches back. Gaze follows. Strong legs. Strong back. Open heart. Focus, gaze, and breath. Release hands to the mat. Move to your dog pose. Left leg extends back and up. Step it forward, crescent. Inhale the body up. Arms reach. Right arm forward. Left arm back, gaze follows. Release to the mat. Find dog. Stay in dog, take child, or one more vinyasa. We wave forward to plank. We lower. We back bend. And we'll meet in child's pose. From child's, find dog. Walk up, halfway lift, forward bow, chair pose, sit back, reach forward and up. Mountain. Okay, we've got one more sun salutation B to go through, and we'll start the same way. Bring it to chair. Focus that mind and gaze. Forward bow. Halfway lift. Breathe in. Move to your plank. Breathe out. Strengthen and lengthen. Lower as you breathe out. Take your back bend. Move to your dog. Right leg extends. Right foot forward, crescent. Reach up with your hands. Feel that strong, stable body. Lift the right toes, spread them. Feel all corners of the right foot. When you're ready, the right leg will be standing. We'll catch our left leg. That same balance we did at the beginning of class. Interlace your hands. Around the left shin. That strength and soft stableness and groundedness in the right foot. Same strong muscles in the legs, the glutes, the hips. The right hand will stay holding the left shin as the left arm reaches back. The gaze will slowly follow. And release to your mountain pose. All right, we'll do a second salutation to bring us down for our second side. Chair pose. down, halfway lift, plank. Strong, lower, back bend, dog. Extend left, crescent lunge, upright, reach. Find the stability in that left foot, catch the right shin. Knee soft, legs strong, hips back. Left hand stays to the shin, right arm reaches back, gaze follows. And mountain pose. Okay, let's move to some seated postures. Go ahead and sit to your mat on a little folded blanket. So to ground and stabilize the lower body, to find that strength that we need to move the spine when we're seated. Often we don't think of seated poses as difficult or engaged, but they are. And if we don't set up that strong lower body, it can damage the spine. So we want to think of the hips as being a bowl, and we don't want the soup to pour out the front or the back of the bowl. So by lifting the hips off the ground, by sitting on something, we tend to bring a normal seated on the ground posture, which is soup tipping back to more level. And that's a nice healthy spot to move the spine in any of the ways: forward folding, back bending, side bending, twisting. We're in a good base. So let's work with just a cross leg pose for now. Whatever leg is in front is a-okay. First, I want you to feel the hip flexion. So keeping the spine up, imagine that the door is closing and the hinge is right here where your lower belly meets your hips. We're folding there, and then the hands can come down and work into that hip flexion as much as you can. You can even have a little bit of engagement with the legs to support you when we're extended like this. And once the hip flexion is maxed out, you can find the spine flexion, the rounding from there. Maybe even let the head hang. Let the hands push down and walk back to support your torso when coming up. Notice what shin is in front in your cross leg pose and switch it up. We'll do the same thing. We'll work into our hip flexion. The hands can come down to support. Work that hip flexion until you feel there's no more to give. And then from there, you can flex the spine. Press down to come up. And now we're going to take it into a half butterfly and go ahead and extend the right leg out. And it's on a diagonal. We'll turn the torso towards the extended leg. And again, find the hip flexion. Find the spine flexion. Bow your forehead to your knee. The left hand might reach over. It's okay to give a little gentle pull if that feels like it's helpful in equalizing the distance from your shoulders to the ground. In this pose, please stay engaged in your legs and in your core, really strengthening with that exhale breath. Press down to lift up, and we'll reverse the legs. Left leg comes out, right leg we butterfly. Torso turns towards the extended leg. We find the hip flexion, we find our spine flexion. Right arm can reach over, bow the head, and keep strong with body and breath. Release to come up. All right, we're going to transition down to the ground. So laying on our back, when you come into your supine, you just want to make sure that you have a little block handy. And we'll start in half corpse. And we're going to take a bridge pose. I love bridge pose. It's really kind of touches all the bases of the things that we worked on today. Strong and rootedness, but also openness, right? This pose demands both. So with the knees and the feet at about hip width, we'll step in, lift the hips. From there, I'm going to interlace my hands behind me. You could also just grip the sides of your mat. And then work on that pressing of the feet, spreading of the toes, gentle hugging in of the leg line, although we don't want the thighs to actually touch. We want to keep that hip distance between the legs, the knees, and the ankles. And as the arms really root down, it protects the head. Reaching with the heart, stable with the feet. And then as you exhale, release the bind, and we'll find knee knock pose. The feet come wide, the knees fall in to touch. You could stick a block between the knees if that would feel better. And I like to rest my arms in goal pose shape. Let's take some windshield wipers with the knees, letting them drop to one side for a few breaths. And then through center and to the other side for a few breaths. And as they come back to center, let's find butterfly. We'll walk the bottoms of the feet together, let the knees fall open. Press one hand to the abdomen, one hand to the heart. And notice the beat of your heart, the warmth of your body, the rise and fall of your breath. A little gratitude for self. The knees will come back together, the feet can come wide, and we'll set up for waterfall. You can take the block on the lowest height, back of your sacrum. So imagine it's supporting you right where the pockets on the mom jeans would be, and let the legs dangle up towards the sky. Bring the feet back to the mat, one at a time. Set the block aside, and we'll do one last supine twist. T-shape your arms. Step into your feet, let your hips lift and bring them over to the right. Both knees will come in towards the chest and fall left. Left hand could rest on the outer right thigh. as you gaze out over your right shoulder towards that extended arm. And come back to center. We'll bring the hips over to the left. The knees come in and fall right. Right hand could rest on the outer left leg as you gaze out towards the left hand. As we come back to center, we'll find final rest. You could stay in half corpse with the knees bent, or you could come into Shavasana, letting the legs come long. A few more moments here to rest the body and rest the mind. I'll hold the space for about 1 minute, but feel free to take as long as you have. If thoughts about your day start to creep in, kindly ask them to wait a few more moments. If you're needing to move and get on with your day, you can start to bring some movement back into your body. Fingers, toes, wrists, ankles. Take any long stretches or hug some rocks that would feel good. Eventually come up to seat. And when you're ready, sit tall. Notice the space you created in your body and in your mind. And we'll bring our hands to heart center. This Anjali Mudra, the center of gratitude, of love. Together we breathe in and out. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your practice and that it sets you up for the rest of your day quite nicely.